Welcome to the virtual race brief for the Glasgow to Edinburgh Ultramarathon. My name is Drinkwater and I'm the event director at GB Ultra, and today we're just going to cover some of the key points that you may need to know for the race itself. The start venue for the G2E Ultra is at the Riverside Museum, a state-of-the-art museum. At the rear of the building is where you'll find the start line waiting for you beside the Glenlee tall ship and the Riverside Museum. In the event of a heavy wind forecast, the start line may be located at the front of the building. Car parking for the race is available either on the Riverside Museum pay and display car park at the front, or alternatively in the centre of Glasgow at one of the many multi-storey long-stay car parks, and they are all pay and display. Race registration is available on the Friday prior to the event from 5:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. Or alternatively, you can collect your bib number and your GB Racetracker from the event team at race registration on the Saturday morning of the event from 4:15 a.m. until 5:30 a.m. You can only collect your GB Racetracker on race day morning. If you have pre-ordered one of the GB Ultra's technical t-shirts for the event, you can pick that up at race registration along with having a look at the other merchandise that we have available. When you collect your GB Racetracker at race registration on the Saturday morning of the event, it is already switched on, so all you have to do is securely fasten it to your pack. There is a Velcro fastener on the rear of the tracker which allows you to securely fasten the tracker to your shoulder strap or the back. Please note that the tracking is updated at 2-minute intervals, providing there is signal. Please ensure that you hand your tracker back to the event team at the finish line of the event. Alternatively, if you decide not to continue during the race, please ensure that you hand it back to the event team at a checkpoint. Each participant has the option of utilising a drop bag for the event. You can hand over a drop bag at the baggage zone at race registration on the Saturday morning prior to race start, and this will then be transported to the finish line to await your arrival there. When you've collected your race number at race registration, you'll notice that there's a drop bag label that can be collected too. If you securely fasten this to your drop bag, it's identified by your unique bib number for the race. The race starts at 6 a.m. sharp, subject to any pre-race safety protocols by the GB Ultras team. The race route for the Glasgow to Edinburgh Ultramarathon. The Riverside Museum is located beside the River Clyde and the River Kelvin. As you start the race, you'll be joined onto the trails that run beside the River Kelvin. After approximately 3 miles into the race, you'll then join onto the Forth Clyde Canal. There are a number of race marshals along the beginning section of the route. You'll then remain on the Forth Clyde Canal until you reach the Falkirk Wheel checkpoint. After passing the Falkirk Wheel checkpoint, you'll then join onto the Union Canal and then the final section of the race. Approximately 3 miles from the race finish, you'll join onto the Water of Leith trails and you'll leave the Union Canal. So just be aware of the left turn leaving the canal. We'll be securing a number of race markers along the route. This will include laminated arrow signs as well as using red biodegradable tape. The tape will be every 20 or 30 yards, give or take. We'll also be using reflective tape for some of the nighttime sections of the race. Checkpoint locations during the Glasgow to Edinburgh Ultramarathon. Checkpoint 1 is at Lamb Hill Stables. No support crews are permitted due to insufficient parking. It's a water-only checkpoint and it is approximately 5 miles into the race. Support crews arriving at the checkpoint without special permission risk having their participants they are supporting being penalised or disqualified. Please treat the event team with respect at all times. Checkpoint 2 is at approximately 10.8 miles into the race, and that's at Barleybank Car Park at Kirkinterloch. Support teams are permitted, but please ask them to park sensibly using a pay and display, and do not block the trail from other users nor block access to the checkpoint. Please treat the event team with respect at all times. Checkpoint 3 is at approximately 17 miles into the race, and that's beside the canal near to Wood End Riding Centre. No support crews are permitted, there is insufficient parking. Checkpoint 4 is at approximately 25.4 miles into the race, and that's at the Falkirk Wheel car park. Support teams are permitted, but please ask them to park sensibly and use the pay and display at Falkirk Wheel. Checkpoint 5 is a water-only checkpoint, and that's at Polmont, and that's approximately 30 miles into the race. Checkpoint 6 is at Linlithgow Basin at approximately 36.5 miles into the race. Support teams are welcome at the Linlithgow checkpoint. To help avoid any parking issues near to the checkpoint, please ask your support teams to park away from the checkpoint area. Checkpoint 7 is at approximately 49.7 miles into the race, and that's at Raphoe. Support teams are permitted, but please ask them to park sensibly. The finish venue for the Glasgow to Edinburgh Ultramarathon is at approximately 57 miles, and that's at Edinburgh Athletics Track at Sawton Sports Complex. Spectators are welcome at the finish venue, but there is very limited parking at Sawton Sports Complex, so please advise supporters to park on Fords Road car park. Toilet facilities are available for participants at the start venue, as well as at checkpoint 2, checkpoint 4, 5, 6 and 7 and the finish venue. Toilets at the checkpoints are for participants only. Should you decide to withdraw from the Glasgow to Edinburgh Ultramarathon on race day, we need you to take off your bib number to signal your retirement and also hand in your GB Racetracker to the event team either at a checkpoint or at the finish line. The GPX is available to download off the GB Ultra's website for the race. If there are any diversions in the lead up to the race, we will let participants know via email and issue a new GPX for the race. The diversions sometimes are essential works deemed necessary by the local authorities or the landowner, and it is out of our hands, but we will ensure that any diversion is suitably marked if needed. The GPX is a guide only, and sometimes when it's added to your watch or your other GPS device, it optimises the race route and drops points, making it less accurate. The Glasgow to Edinburgh Ultramarathon is a trail event, and mileage to checkpoints is approximate only. No paces are permitted for this event. This is to ensure that it is equal and fair across the board for all participants who are entered into the race. A pacer is someone you have arranged to meet you on the route and runs a section with you. That is not permitted. You're also not permitted to have anyone else carry your mandatory kit throughout the race. The mandatory kit for the race. In the lead up to the race, please ensure that you look over the mandatory kit video, which is being done by one of the race director team, Laura Yates. The mandatory kit is the minimum standard kit that you must carry for the race itself. If you wish to carry anything extra, for example a first aid kit, by all means feel free to do so. But this is the minimum standard kit, the safety kit that you must carry at all times during the ultramarathon. During the race, weather conditions can change quite rapidly. If there is a poor weather forecast for race day, we may well add extra mandatory kit to the kit list, such as waterproof trousers, a warm hat and gloves. During the race and at the finish line, there will be random kit checks. If you're found not to be carrying the mandatory kit for the race itself, you could be disqualified, or there could well be time penalties imposed for the race. During the event, it's important that we all play our part to respect the environment that we're in. During an ultramarathon, you'll be eating on the move, so any snacks, any litter that you have during the race, please make sure that it's secure in a dedicated pocket in your pack. Please ensure that if you're using that pocket for anything else, maybe your mobile phone, that you don't drop any litter out of your pocket when you take your phone out. So maybe just use a dedicated area of your pack. Make sure that when you come into a checkpoint that you unload all of that litter, so it reduces the risk of any litter going on the route. This leads on to the emergency instructions for the Glasgow to Edinburgh Ultramarathon. If there is a minor injury, please let a checkpoint, a marshal or Race HQ know. During the event, we have our own dedicated medical teams in place at checkpoints and trail response teams positioned along the route. Our team will endeavour to help as soon as possible and should be your first point of call in the event of an incident that is not a danger to life or limb. In an emergency where there is a risk to life or limb, please follow these instructions. Number 1, put on any spare clothing and use your foil blanket to keep warm. Number 2, trigger the SOS button on the front of your tracker. On the front of your tracker, just underneath the Racetracker logo, there is an SOS button. Hold it down for approximately 3 seconds and this will alert Race HQ. Please note that that is no substitute to speaking to Race HQ on the phone. Number 3, if there is a risk to life or limb and you are at a checkpoint, please call 999 and ask for an ambulance. Number 4, inform Race HQ by calling the numbers for Race HQ that you should have saved on your phone. Number 5, attract the attention of fellow participants or passers-by by using your whistle or shouting. If you have any questions in the lead up to the event, please don't hesitate to send us an email at events@gbultras.com. If it is race week, we can't guarantee a reply. This completes a virtual race brief for the Glasgow to Edinburgh Ultramarathon, and thanks so much for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you in Glasgow.